Hello guys, welcome to my channel, the Indo-French Life. My name is Shraddha, and this week we are going to talk again about housing because it's a much talked about topic. So today I'm going to cover all the scams about housing. I have already made a housing video which I have linked right here. Go check it out first. And yeah, first of all, thank you to everyone who attended my live session. It was great. I had it done with my sponsor Movido. Now the thing is, when you're looking for a house in France and we are not in France, you are in India or some other country, let's just say, because housing is the same. You come from India, you come from China, you come from Bangladesh, I don't know, it's gonna be the same. So when you're coming from a foreign country, it is very risky and you're very much at a risk to get scammed if you're not doing it through trusted sources like third-party agencies. So I recommend you to check out Movido. It gives a full starter pack for the students who are freshly arriving in France or UK. They also give SIM cards, public transport help. They also give you an airport pickup. So check out their site, and here is my code Indo-French Life where you can get 20% discount. So moving on, let's get to the scams. So the first way you get scammed, the most risky one, is to get through third-party websites. I won't really name them over here, but there are quite a few, and you can even use Facebook to search for posts and all. Now Facebook is a multi-purpose place. If you don't know, there's this thing called Facebook Marketplace where you can also buy and sell other products. I don't know if it is there in India or not, but you very much have it over here in France. So over there people list houses as well, and not just Facebook. I'm not trying to defame Facebook. You get good houses over there sometimes, but you cannot trust it when you're living 2 continents away. So, and you know what, they might try to show you a different address than what it actually is. They will have a fake ID, like no one is checking on those websites whether this proprietaire or the landlord is genuine or not. So one of the first things they will ask, they might ask, these are some of the signs, it might or might not happen, there can be other ways too. So the things which I know I'm gonna tell, they will ask you to do the money transfer before you come over here, and even before they give you an ID proof, before they even give you a contract. They'll first of all ask you to send some money, and then the moment you send the money, they're gone. No proof. Poof. So yeah, and even if you try to track, it's a whole of a headache, and that money is gone for a long while unless someone is taking some serious action. The next one as I said, they're not providing real ID or something. And this has actually happened with some of my friends. Like, they booked a house, thankfully it went well, they got a good house, they were there for some time. Next one is refuse to give a contract. That's like a big no-no. I mean, you definitely need a contract to get the visa in the first place. But as I told you, there's a third way to get your residence proof for the visa. It is called attestation d'hébergement. Now people have other uses and there's not much verification. I'm not trying to show a loophole in the laws. There are loopholes in the laws everywhere, but still I'm not trying to promote any wrong thing over here or asking you to use this way, because it is one of the most unsafe ways to go at attestation d'hébergement when you're actually paying the rent, because that money is black money in a way. I mean, think of it, there's no receipt, there's no contract, there's no written proof that you sent that much money. Like minimum you will be paying 400 to 500 euros if you're living in a city like Paris, and even if it is less, because the lesser the money is the hook for these people. Now I'm not saying that everywhere you can get scammed, but yeah, when I'm talking about this particular attestation, like, yes, it works. It's a foolproof residence paper you can provide, because yeah, people have used it and it is fine. If you're living in an uncle-aunt situation where you're genuinely not paying the rent, it's free, then okay. But otherwise, that attestation doesn't give you security, and that is in any case. Like, let's say in that attestation paper, for an example, you have leased a house for, let's say, June of 2021 to December of 2021. The landlord or the landlady someday just gets up and she's like, get out. In October, you have to get out the day she asks you to. There's no going back. That paper will not save you. That paper doesn't secure you your whole stay you have booked. So people cannot fathom this one outcome out of it. That is, you will be homeless. You will be homeless. I have talked to other subscribers when they asked me for help. I told them, you do not think of this because you're already coming from a good house and all. Despite the fact, for a moment you'll be left confused, like, okay, now what to do? You'll be panicked, you'll be taken aback. There'll be so many problems. I have faced some problems at some time because of some things. My friends have faced a lot more problems than these. There are other places from where you can book the house, but I'm not sure how much of a guarantee you can get on the contract. Like people choose Airbnb. Now Airbnb is for mostly like a short stay. I don't think you get contracts from the company, but rather if you have an outside settlement with the host, like, okay, rent it to me, that's a separate thing. But there are some very, very intelligent people who put up Airbnb photos on third-party websites, and then they take money and then they scam you. Yeah, that also happens. The next one I will cover is called logement social, or the social lodgings or housings. Now this lodging is given by the government or by the registrar, by the mairie, hotel de ville of the town, for social upliftment of certain class of people. Some people misuse this, and it is sort of prohibited to lease a house or like sublet a house if you are living in social housing. They might not even provide you with a paper. Now I'm not saying, see, now in this situation you have to decide if it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, and if it is working for you, if it is not working for you. But I know this thing that it can get you into trouble at some or the other point of time. Be safe with that. And I tried to find it out, but there is no particular website where you can check if a particular housing is logement social or like the social housing or not. So be aware of that. I'm not saying it's necessarily a scam, but if it is prohibited, it is prohibited. You don't sublet a house, which you're not allowed to. This is mostly about the scams you can face over here while looking for a house if you're going through other means rather than the registered safe ways. It's one thing if you're already there in France and looking for a house, and it is another when you have never been to France and then looking for a house. And even when you're in France and then looking for a house, chances are you can still get scammed. Ding! So this is a story of one of my friends. This is the bonus section of this video of how he got scammed. I have already told about it in my previous housing video. So I asked him, how did you get scammed after living in Paris for this much of time and after even going and seeing the house physically? So he told me that he received a contract. Yes. He went to see the house. Yes. The guy, the landlord, showed him his ID proof. But when getting the ID proof printout or Xerox copy, photocopy, he took it out. He took his ID proof out and he just sent him the contract. And by that time, when my friend, he went to the bank and he put up the money, and after that there was a huge issue because the landlord, he disappeared. He vanished. And he couldn't do anything out of it because he didn't even have the ID. So this is coming from a friend who is very, how can I say, vigilant and very attentive while looking for such things. And it can happen to the best of us. So So yeah, to go through contract. If it is a situation where we are actually paying, get the contract. If you're living free with a relative, different story. But if you're paying the rent, get a contract. And if you're still searching for a house, or if you're even looking for a house search, go check out Movido's website and see the plans which they have. They are tailor-made for you. And here's the code again. Check in my description box. Also check the description box for more details if I have about this situation. And I'll be soon making another video, maybe perhaps on grocery shopping and what groceries you will need as a student or as someone who is working. So you need to cook up something in like 10 minutes before going to the class. Even if you're a very wonderful cook, you might not have the energy to cook or the time to cook. So what to take and what not to take, it's coming up soon. So this is about the video, guys. Like this video if you like this video. Comment your questions, your query, your suggestions, or whatever you want me to make a video on next. And share this video with your friends who are coming over here, who are planning to go anywhere abroad, because scams can happen everywhere. Yes. And subscribe to my channel, the Indo-French Life. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Take care.